What's going on, guys? This is 3 for Days here with my first ever long format performance video of the New Balance 2-Way V4. This is, to say it, honestly one of the best models that any shoe company has ever come out with. But first off, I appreciate you guys stopping by. This is a definitely unique perspective in terms of performance review. Usually you see someone sitting behind and on top. However, I kind of have this angle to kind of feel like your hands are my hands and you guys are holding the shoe yourself. For context, I've had this shoe for about 3 months now, so they're completely worn in, broken in, and everything you could think of. This model came out, I would say, about a year ago. However, it's still relevant today because they are going on sale on Dick's, Finish Line, etc. If you could find them, I've seen them go for $80 on sale to as low as $75. So this is definitely a steal if you are still thinking about purchasing this shoe, and if you haven't already. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start with the traction. The traction is this multi-directional, what I'm going to call an octopus traction pattern. It has a pretty pliable slash durable rubber compound in terms of the interior side, and then on the lateral side you have this really thick herringbone. I mean, this thing is just, it's like a tire for a car if it focuses. There you go. It doesn't want to move, but you know, this ensures that you're really good on those lateral cuts if you do a lot of force, and you're good to go. I would definitely say if you're a shifty player, a center that just like to stay grounded, or if you just don't move at all, honestly, you're really good to go. I will post some footage of me about right now doing some hard stops on it. However, out of a 1 out of 5 scale, this definitely deserves a 4 out of 5. I'm knocking one score down, mainly because on dusty courts, I had about 5 stops before I had to wipe again. And then, you know, it was just that same repetition no matter what. However, this is a very exceptional traction by New Balance, and kudos to them and well done. Next, we have cushion. So we have the fuel cell on the lateral side, fresh foam on the back lateral side, fuel cell in the interior side, and then fresh foam in the interior side as well. So it kind of is going in a X pattern. So you have where you need compression here, where the balls of your foot is, and you need compression here where your heel is to absorb all those hard crash landings. And as you can see, this thing is chunky. I mean, in all conditions, whether you are a high riser as Michael Jordan, just a low top guy that just cruises on the ground like Luka. I mean, this setup is beautiful. It doesn't get any better than this. It really does cater toward every single type of player that's out there. I will say in the forefoot, as other YouTubers and performance reviewers have commented, you do kind of sit high off the ground. In terms of the forefoot, it's, you know, usually shoes kind of, you're sitting inside the midsole, so I always do about a finger's width of space as a reference, but I do prefer that. I like to have cushion in the forefoot because as a point guard, you are doing a lot of torque, a lot of push-offs, and so over time, this does kind of helps the knees just, you know, give a little break from time to time from impact. In terms of the heel, you sit about a thumb's width in terms of where you're sitting in the midsole. Yeah, I have my finger on this side and my thumb is right there. you still get a nice chunk of foam to where you, no matter what you do in terms of crashing down, you're really set and solid and you don't feel any of the impact at all. And for 3 months, I still feel the cushion hasn't bonded out on me, and I'm an average player playing about 2 times a week. So, you know, for longevity, I'm very impressed with what New Balance has so far. And I would definitely give this a 5 out of 5. Very versatile and very friendly to every type of player that's out there on the court. In terms of materials now, we have a fuse panel on the lateral side, the toe, and the eyelet areas. This is really honestly where you need them the most, especially if you're doing hard cuts. You kind of want this fuse panel actually just kind of, it just hugs your foot and prevents it from rolling over the footbed right there. And so as you can see, you really do have a nice wide base right here too, on top of kind of it's flanging out just out on the interior side as well too. I'll definitely say for sure this was not cumbersome in terms of the break-in process and did not bother my feet whatsoever. For the rest of the primary materials, you have this nice tight knit mesh. Honestly, very reminiscent from the 2000s, early 2000s in my opinion. This is like one of those 90s running shoe. And they have a little bit more modern mesh right here going through the tongue as well. And then interior side is just the mesh again. As you can see, if it zooms in, it's very nice and soft. I mean, to the touch, it's like a sweater from like Goodwill, you know, those super comfy sweaters, man. But definitely legit, and had no problems whatsoever in terms of comfort. Definitely a 5 out of 5 for me as well. In terms of support, you have this internal heel cup right here. It's really thick, doesn't move at all, and I'm definitely trying to push that in, as well as this lateral plastic piece that is placed near the heel. And then of course your fuse panel, and then your caterpillar system is what I like to call this. It really just hugs your foot in and locks the midfoot. And then you have, it's more of a mid cut. So it's like an addition to the midfoot piece to where it just locks in your heel and pushes into the heel bed right here. And the most interesting part about this is that it doesn't have a lot of padding in the heel area. I mean, it's really just basic, to say the least. However, no discomfort whatsoever. Really still like the setup, and support was definitely a 5 out of 5 for me. And not sure if I mentioned this already, but there is a internal shank about sandwiched right there in the middle, and it goes from about 3/4 there to about right behind the balls of your foot. So it's decent, it's pretty thick, and you could really feel it not wanting to just bend on you. However, in the forefoot, still pretty stiff, but you still have some flexibility right there as well. Support and lockdown is definitely a 5 out of 5 for me. Now, in terms of comfort and sizing, this is the most interesting part about New Balance from what I'm finding out, to be honest. Nike, it's true to size. Adidas, you know, they're off and on. However, it's usually true to size for me. However, for New Balance, let's just say my hand is my feet, right? So I would say I would place it about right here. So I just barely get less than a thumb's width of space. However, I still feel it, and it's not like annoying and uncomfortable by any means. However, this is where I think I'm going to have to applaud New Balance for this, because a lot of people don't understand. When you're running, doing activities, your feet swell up about half a size more. And so if you run, if you do marathons or just, you know, jog, and if you're into running shoes, the saying goes that you usually get a shoe half size bigger because your foot will swell up and actually fill in that space. And so literally that is what happened. I mean, I was kind of concerned about that little space, but as I continued to play, my feet honestly just kind of filled in the rest of the space, providing a really nice one-to-one fit. This is true to size, and honestly, it doesn't get much better than that. The only complaint I would have to say is this toe piece right here. It's kind of thick for just a fuse panel. However, I understand, as you know, New Balance was trying to cater to everyone in terms of playing basketball in this shoe. This is a pretty thick fuse panel meant to really just, when someone does a toe off, to where it's gonna remain durable and not burn through it. But definitely kudos to New Balance for the fit. I could be completely wrong about what I just said, but you know, my theory was that it was true, and you know, it was shady at first, but as I continued to play, it filled in the rest of the space, and I definitely give this a 5 out of 5. Now, this is just a side note, but it does look like a high top from afar. However, I will note and mention that it's more of a mid cut, mid to low, especially with this dip right here towards the heel area. But as far as New Balance two-way V4, if you find these guys, definitely cop. It's a must purchase. You won't go wrong with this whatsoever. There's really no complaints I have about it other than the fact that it's just a well-rounded shoe. And New Balance has done a really good job releasing this. So again, guys, I appreciate you guys stopping by, seeing my first performance review. If you guys like this POV setup to where you kind of feel like you're part of the process, let me know down in the comments. This is for me starting somewhere, and you know, as this channel continues to grow, I'll definitely develop more methods and techniques to make this a better experience for you guys. But if you like it, let me know. If you don't, definitely provide some constructive feedback, so we could take this to honestly better heights. Thanks for stopping by, appreciate it, and till next time.